Hey friends, so today what I'm going to do is just really quickly set up some spider containers for Phidippus audax, the bowl jumper. The other day I went into the lab and was surprised to discover that this bowl jumper I had just kept as an attractive, fun little pet because jumping spiders always are kind of cute and adorable. So I had set this up and just came in every couple of days and fed her. And then I noticed suddenly the cage was full of little baby spiders. So she was pregnant. I didn't know it, but okay, I'll take them. So that just sets me up with a little problem because now I've got a whole bunch of little baby spiders, adorable as they are. And I can't just leave them in this container with mom for fear she will eat them or that the siblings will eat each other. So I've got to transfer them into separate containers, which is a little bit tedious. But it's okay. It's fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the spiders, and then I'm going to show you the gear I need to set up cultivation of spiders. And it's trivial. It's really easy. You can do this with your kids at home, no problem. So let's take a look at these little guys. So here you can see this is a roughly 4-inch plexiglass cube that I was keeping the adult spider in. Where is she? She was walking around just a moment ago. Yeah, you can see her there. Anyway, this is just a convenient size because it's large enough to be comfortable for the spiders, and yet also not so big that it overwhelms my lab. So there, look at there, you can see her. Zoom in a little bit. So there's the bowl jumper, Phidippus audax. There's a couple of distinctive things about her. One you can't see right here, but look at those burly forearms. She's got strong front legs. Also, maybe if I turn this, let's see if I can get a good shot of her abdomen. There she is. No, it's just too dark. But she's got a white spot on the middle of her abdomen near the dorsal side. And also, I'm not going to be able to capture it with this camera, but when she's looking right at you, she's got green fangs. There's brilliant metallic emerald green fangs. So she's very distinctive. She's very pretty. She's also very lively. It's one of the reasons I was keeping her in the lab, because if there's one spider I can rely on to do interesting things, it's good old bowl jumpers. Okay, now you're saying, I can't hardly see anything. That's because we're looking through plexiglass that has been covered over with all kinds of spider silk. That's what she does. She coats everything with spider silk. In particular, you see up here in one corner, see that dense mat of silk? Yeah, so she builds a little refugium. Usually she goes up high up on the container and builds it up there, and it's just layers and layers and layers of silk. It's pretty much opaque. You can't really see through it. And that's how she could hide her egg sac for so long. She kept it in there and I didn't know about it. Okay, you probably also see, look at all those little black dots moving around. Yeah, those are the baby spiders. So they're doing well. We got lots of them in here. And what I need to do is separate them out. Let's see if I can get a good view of yeah, there's a couple of them there. Still hanging out around the refugium. Okay, what do we need to do? Well, if you want to do this yourself, raise spiders, it's pretty easy. But you do need to prepare ahead of time a little bit. For one thing, you need spider food. Now, for the babies, I use fruit fly larvae. Well, not the larvae. I let them hatch out into adults. These are all wingless fruit flies. They're easy to raise if you've got the medium, and because I'm a professional and I raise these for lab work and for classes, I've got lots of this blue medium here that you get from Carolina Scientific. So I got that. It's just equal parts the medium, which is a flaky powder, and water, and it sets up and forms this little gel, and then the flies lay their eggs in it and they hatch out. You can see those little white things all over there near the bottom. Those are the little cute maggots crawling around doing their business. And the adults tend to climb up high. You can't really see them because when they pupate, they leave their pupal cases up there. Okay, so I set these up ahead of time. So those are all ready to go. Then what I do is I'm going to reveal a trade secret here. This is a tall bottle that I think it had just water in it before, but I rinsed it out, and I took this because it's tall, because I'm going to put flies in here. There's some flies in there right now, and if it's not tall, they will eventually crawl right up here and go out the top, because I have drilled a little hole in the top of the lid. Why do I do that? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of flies in here and then put the lid back on. And now I've got a fly shaker. So you see this? You can just tap it to knock the flies down to the bottom, and then you turn it over and shake it to get a few flies to come out. The hole has to be the right size. It's got to be a little larger than a fruit fly, but not much, so that you only lose a few fruit flies every time you shake it. So it means I can just go through and shake this bottle and get fruit flies into the containers that I want to work with. Okay, so I get that set up. That's going to be fine for the young'uns. They want small insects like fruit flies. It's not satisfactory for these adults. I mean, look at her. She's huge. As you can see, that's a pretty good sized spider, and she is not satisfied with fruit flies anymore. So what I've also got is I've got a container full of mealworms. Mealworms are also really easy to raise. You just dump in a bunch of cornmeal and oatmeal to make the substrate. Then you put in your mealworms, which you can again buy from just about any pet store. You just need a few to get it started. You put in a bunch of mealworms, and they will happily chow down on that stuff. I also come in every once in a while and throw in something like a piece of potato or the ends of a carrot, whatever, some vegetable material, and they'll chew on that and they'll thrive. And then they'll turn into beetles. Annoying little beetles that are no good for anything because the spiders don't want to eat them. But what the beetles are good for is they will lay eggs. And to provide them a place to lay eggs, what I generally throw into the container is toilet paper tubes. Gives them a little shelter. They crawl around, they lay eggs on the cardboard. They hatch out, turn into mealworms, gnaw on things for a while. I pull out a few at a time and feed those to the spiders. So this bold jumper can easily eat most of a mealworm. And you might be able to see, if you look down below, there's some mealworm carcasses in there. I'll have to clean those out too. She can't quite eat the whole thing, so what generally happens is she attacks it. This is another fun thing to do. You throw a mealworm in there, and the bull jumper will just go for it, chow down on it. It will eat as much as it can, and then typically they will leave like half a carcass still in the container. And that's okay. You just have to clean them out periodically. As I said, I haven't done that in a while for here, so I better do that today too. So feeding them is easy. They're happy to eat that stuff. Now, You may not want to cultivate lots of fruit flies. That's okay. I'm into it, but then I do Drosophila genetics, so I raise lots of them. One thing you can do is if you get on Amazon and you look for wingless fruit flies, you can buy a good-sized container that's full of them, and they'll hatch out regularly for a long period of time. So I've seen them last as much as a month, just new baby spiders, or flies, excuse me, coming up. So you can do that. It's less than $20. Good for a month's worth of exuberant feeding. You get more fruit flies than you'll know what to do with. But maybe you want to raise a giant colony. I'll need lots for all these babies I got here. So yeah, you just set that up. It's pretty easy. And you just buy a bunch of fruit flies. And later you get a bunch of mealworms. Again, you can get them at the pet store. Here in the upper Midwest, I can also get them at the bait shop. So lots of food there. So you get that ready ahead of time. In a moment, what I'll do is I'll fill this thing up. I just get, 10, 20, 30 little flies down there at the bottom. And that'll be ready to go. And then I'm going to open up this container. And this is the danger moment because they want to go away. These spiders have a strong instinct to disperse after they've hatched out. And I've been cruel in keeping them confined into this container. So they may try to escape really quickly. What I will do then is I have a paintbrush. This is the ideal tool for catching baby spiders. Just scoop them up. You can catch them on a bit of web. And then we transfer them into these things. Let me pull one out here. These are dirt cheap. You might be able to get them at your grocery store even. Okay, come on out. There we go. So there it is, just a clear plastic container. They come with a snap-on lid. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take these containers and I'm going to put a bunch of, just a little bit of sphagnum moss in there to add a little moisture to them. I also have somewhere, I'll find it, I have a little atomizer, so I can just mist them with a little bit of water to increase the humidity. So I'm just going to transfer one at a time into these little containers and then set them aside and they'll be fine. I'll just have to feed them like every 2 days, 3 days, and they'll get bigger and bigger until they look like mom over there. These have not been sexed. I can't tell them apart at this early stage, and that's okay. I'll raise them until I can tell the difference between the males and the females, and then we'll have a little dance party, and I'll introduce them to each other, and then we'll get lots of pregnant spiders out of this. They'll produce more eggs and more babies, and we'll grow them up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change views a little bit here. I'm going to set up the good camera. I'm going to pop the top on the container, and we'll get a better look at what these spiders look like. All right, let's pop the lid on this thing. Now, jumping spiders, it's okay. I don't mind if some of them escape. They'll just flee into the house, and I can live with that. I'd actually love to have a house full of jumping spiders. They would keep down the pests, and they're adorable, and they're harmless. But I want to capture a bunch of these. So let's pop this top gently. Okay, and you can see some of them dangling from silk there already. And some have escaped. Sneaky little guys. So here I am, I'm pulling out my container, and I'm just using the brush and sweeping them into the container. Come on. You can't see a thing because it's out of the field of view. But I've only got 2 hands. There we go. It's in there. I haven't added the sphagnum moss yet. But now you can see there it is. There's a little dot in there. So that's one. Oh. Yeah, I didn't secure the lid very well. Let's get that on there just right. There we go. And there's 2 more. Oh no, they're all over the place. Like I said, I'm not worried about bold jumpers escaping. But I would like to keep them in under. They're bold. They're very audacious. Let me see if I can get some better photos of these guys. As long as they're running free. Where are you? Oh, they move too fast. Okay, I'm going to have to concentrate on just scooping them up. I don't mind a house full of jumping spiders, and I don't think my wife would either. She kind of likes these guys. They're cute, but they're just all over the place already. Okay, I'm just scooping them in. There's one. Uh-oh. Mama's looking around. She sees a chance to break for it. Oh man, I should have gotten more ready ahead of time. Mary's at work right now, so she may get a surprise and come home to a house full of jumping spiders. No one complains about that though, right? Okay, this is more of a problem when I'm working with the black widows. Oh man, look at all these guys. They're just home. They're running free. I'm mainly keeping an eye on the mother. Let's see if I can do this. If I can just flip one in there, that's quick. So there were some escapees. I can't blame them. There we go. This is not very exciting for those of you watching this video, but for me it's like, oh no, they're all out of control. I got so many baby spiders running free everywhere. Where did I go? I think what I should have done is set up a dozen containers with lids, all poised and ready to be scooped up with these spiders. But I figured, no, I can handle it. I'm a spider professional. I've worked with lots of these guys. They're not going to all get away from me at once, are they? And yeah, they kind of are. I thought this would be so straightforward and controlled. I just start scooping these guys up and feed them as I go, dropping flies into their containers. But no, they are too quick for me. They're all over the place. But we love spiders, so it's okay. I was also hoping that this would be at such a constrained pace that I'd be able to take some close-up photos of some of these guys. But right now, I'm just frantically trying to catch up. They're piling up over here. Okay. Any others escapees? Yeah, let's get this guy. One nice thing about spiders is they do leave that line of silk everywhere. So sometimes you can catch them just by taking a paintbrush and swiping across their trail. And there you go, you got them. What a nice tidy little line. Okay, this is making it work harder than I expected. That's okay, that's the fun of spiders. Okay, things are getting under control now. Ooh. I should have had the camera trained on my face so that you could see how panicky I was getting. Reposition that a little bit. The mama spider is so polite and deferential. She actually doesn't want to leave her nice little refuge. But that's okay. Oh, there's one on a pill bottle over here. Get off of there. There's two over here. Come on. Yeah, I'm going to have spiders crawling out of my bed all night long now. But these are bowl jumpers. It's okay. They're just cute and harmless. They don't bite, not people anyway, but they can do a number on an insect. Whew. I should mention it's kind of awkward for me to get around right now because I am actually in a wheelchair. I don't like it. It's only temporary. That's because my knees are shot. Okay. You often hear how spiders are cannibals, and not so much. They're opportunistic feeders. But like this mama has been sitting here with her collection of babies, and no, she does not eat them. She knows better than that. Yeah, I'm getting kind of careless of just throwing these containers around because I have so many spiders to deal with. So this is another fun thing about spiders is they lay egg sacs, and egg sacs for most of the species I work with typically have 100 to 200 babies in them. And then they just erupt outwards, and all of a sudden you got all these spiders running around everywhere. So I'm kind of used to this. Okay, I mentioned with black widows it's a little more challenging because you don't want any black widows to escape. Especially in an area like this where black widows are not native. They don't belong here. Okay, Mama Spider, get down. Get down there. There you go. Don't try to escape. I got enough to deal with here. With all your children. Now, I am not going to be able to get all of the babies out of here. One reason is they're kind of hiding in this refuge that Mom has set up here. And also what I've used for a substrate is some limestone granules. So this sandy, rough bottom that I picked because it's nice and white, and that means that the spiders show up well against it. And so what I will have to do, to bring this to a little close right now, is I will have to come back later. As I mentioned, the spiders have a tendency to disperse. So if you get in there and pull out some of the spiders and then go away, the remaining spiders will spread out to fill the space. Okay. So I'm going to stop this bit here, and I'm going to bring up my good camera and see if I can get some nice photos of these little guys. Okay, there's our mother spider. Focus, please. No, don't go out. All right, anyway, you can see the dark body. There's that white spot on the abdomen. You can see those burly legs. Let's see if I can get her to cooperate and give me a... Show me your teeth. Oh, you can sort... Yeah, there they go. Look at those bright green fangs. And she's looking at me now. She's going to go scouting around. Let's see if I can find any babies. I cleaned out most of them that were all separate and isolated. These are kind of nestled down in the silky refuge. And there's hints that there's more back down in there. There's the remains of a mealworm that Mom chewed up. Oh, there's a fruit fly. Yeah, so I threw in a whole bunch of fruit flies just to give them something to gnaw on. And now they're all down in the gravel, so it's hard to see. There's some things in there. Nice fossils inside of our gravel substrate. Oops, she didn't like that. Okay, we got one good shot of those green fangs. So that looks like a good place to leave it. Next, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of moss in each of those containers. And then I'm also going to give each one of them a little fly, because they are probably hungry and they're ready to start growing. Okay, that's it for today.